Hey everyone, today we're diving into a book that, I'm not kidding, has totally changed the way I think about making progress. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. And look, if you've ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels, starting and stopping new habits, well, this one's for you. Let's jump right in.
We've all been there, haven't we? New Year's Day, you're full of motivation, you're going to start this brand new habit, and then a few weeks later, it just evaporates. So why does that keep happening? Well, it's probably not what you think. It's not about a lack of willpower. Turns out, it's all about the system you're using.
And this is the idea at the absolute heart of the book. It's this number, 1%. See, we think we need these big, earth-shattering changes to see results, but what if you just got 1% better every single day? It sounds like nothing, right? But that tiny improvement, when it compounds over a year, you're not just a little better, you are nearly 38 times better. That is the incredible power of compounding.
Okay, this next idea, it's a real game changer. We are so obsessed with setting goals, right? I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to write a book. But James Clear says, forget the goals. Focus on your systems. And think about it. Winners and losers in pretty much any field often have the exact same goals. So what's the difference? It's not the goal. It's the system, the process they follow every single day.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to kick things off with why a radical change is mostly a myth. Then we'll walk through the 4 laws of behavior change, one by one. Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. And we'll wrap up with what I think is the most powerful concept of all, how your habits actually shape your identity.
All right, let's start with part 1, the myth of radical change.
So if big breakthrough moments aren't the answer, what is? Well, Clear gives us this incredibly simple yet powerful framework. It's called the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Just think of these as 4 levers you can pull to build pretty much any good habit. And as we're about to see, you can just flip them upside down to break the bad ones.
Okay, on to our second section, law number 1. Make it obvious.
So, this law is all about the triggers or cues in our environment. See, every single one of our habits follows this simple 4-step pattern. It starts with a cue, which triggers a craving. That craving motivates a response, which in turn delivers a reward. The whole thing is a loop. So if we want to build a new habit, the very first step is to make that initial cue totally impossible to miss.
And here's how beautifully simple this is. If you want to build a good habit, you make the cue obvious. Put it right in your path. But if you want to break a bad habit, you do the exact opposite. You make the cue invisible. Get it out of your sight. So how do you actually do that? Well, here are 2 incredibly practical tactics. First, use an implementation intention. Don't just say, I'll meditate. Get super specific. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my living room. See the difference? The other one is habit stacking. You just link a new habit you want to start with a habit you already do. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. You're basically piggybacking the new habit onto an old one that's already on autopilot.
All right, that was law 1. Let's move on to the second law. Make it attractive.
You know, what really drives our habits is the anticipation of the reward, that little dopamine hit we're expecting. So the more attractive we can make an action, the more likely our brain is to want to do it again and again. For good habits, you want to make them irresistible. For bad habits, you need to do the opposite. Reframe them to be as unattractive as possible.
And the key strategy here is something called temptation bundling. It's brilliant. You simply pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. The example here is perfect. You only let yourself listen to your absolute favorite podcast while you're on the treadmill. The thing you want, the podcast, literally pulls you through the thing you need to do, the exercise.
Okay, moving right along to our 4th section, law number 3. Make it easy.
This one is huge because at our core, we humans are wired to follow the path of least resistance. We want to conserve energy, so we naturally drift towards whatever is easiest. The trick is to use that laziness to our advantage. For good habits, you want to reduce the friction. Make it as easy as possible to start. For bad habits, you do the opposite. You increase the friction. You add steps, make it a pain to do.
So what's the best way to make a new habit ridiculously easy? Well, it all comes down to this magic number, 2 minutes.
This is the 2-minute rule, and it is so simple. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. That's it. So read before bed every night becomes read 1 page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. The point here isn't to get amazing results right away. The point is to master the art of just showing up. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist.
And that brings us to our fifth section and the final piece of the puzzle, law number 4, make it satisfying.
This is what closes the loop and tells your brain, hey, do that again. Because here's the cardinal rule of behavior change. What is immediately rewarded gets repeated. What is immediately punished gets avoided. And here's the problem. So many bad habits give us an immediate reward, right? But the rewards for good habits are often delayed. So we have to find a way to give ourselves a little hit of satisfaction right now.
And you know what? A super simple habit tracker is one of the best ways to do this. Just getting to put that X in the box, that little bit of visual progress, it feels good. It's a tiny, immediate reward that reinforces the action. Plus, you build this chain of X's, and you really don't want to be the one to break the chain.
Okay, so we've got the 4 laws. That's the how of changing your habits. But now we're going to talk about the why, which is honestly the most profound part of this whole framework. This is where it gets really deep. The true goal isn't just about the outcome. It's not just to read a book. It's to become a reader. It's not about running a single marathon. It's about becoming a runner. See the shift? When your behavior is tied to your identity, you're not trying to convince yourself to do something. You're simply acting in alignment with who you believe you are.
James Clear puts it perfectly with this quote, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." Just let that sink in. Every single time you lace up your running shoes, you're casting a vote for "I am a healthy person." Every time you sit down to write one sentence, you're casting a vote for "I am a writer." These little votes add up over time to build the proof of your new identity.
So ultimately, it's not about being perfect or making some massive change overnight. It's about the small choices, the tiny votes you cast day in and day out. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what kind of person will you cast a vote for today? Thanks for joining me.